what's up guys, and welcome to Soulscape. I'm your host, Armando Jumal, and let's talk about anything and everything related to life. We'll cover topics ranging from existential dread and religion to psychedelics and our favorite sex positions. So join me and my friends as we go through life and figure out what this thing means. And without further ado, let's go straight into the podcast. Hey, what's up guys? Thank you guys so much for hopping into the first episode of Soulscape. This is gonna be the start of something brand new. Y'all ain't ready for this shit. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Okay, Jalen, tell me. I talked to you about this on FaceTime the other day.
Yeah, well first off, you want to tell them who I am?
Oh, he's a homie. It's some motherfucker I met off the street, we smoked some crack together, and then from there on, it was just love at first sight.
I do love crack.
I do, yeah, exactly, right?
Crack's really good.
Basically, so Jalen, I met him about, let's say 7-8 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago.
Honestly.
Yeah, shit, I can't.
BBC.
Yeah. So I met this guy about a year ago through just some mutual friends and shit. Did not like him at first. We connected a few months later, and then we started to get close and shit, and then I fuck with him. This guy really has been very inspirational to me, and
Likewise.
A positive influence, to say the least.
Likewise.
Drink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. I just want to say, the reason why he's here, and the reason why he's a really good friend of mine, is, we've talked about this. I've brought this up. Mm-hmm. As I get older, and you have realized this at the young age you are, which is incredible. Yeah. But we only have so much time, right, with everything that we do. Like I'm only going to be 22 for so long.
Yeah.
I'm only going to be young and not have any dependents. And the people who I spend my time with are incredibly important to me because that's who we will become. And, the reason why I have you around is because, I appreciate that you've told me that you find me inspiring, but yeah. I very much find him. He, right now is working on becoming an influencer within the bodybuilding niche, within Instagram. But personally, I see him as being much more than that. Yeah. Whether it's that, whether it's, I don't know, some business you make down the line. I don't know. I feel like if he sets his mind to it, I think he's really capable of just about anything.
Yeah. And
there's a reason why you're in my life.
I appreciate that, bro. Alright, so you trying to kiss now or later?
Yeah,
Damn! I feel hyped up as fuck right now. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Yeah. Honestly, the goal is to be a Renaissance man, right? I don't want to limit myself to just one thing.
Hell yeah.
I don't want to limit myself to whether it be an influencer, whether it be an entrepreneur, whether it be a podcast host or a YouTuber. I see these things as just labels, right? They're labels, but at the end of the day, you, Jalen, Gonel, me, Armando Juma, we are just people. We are so multifaceted and have so many interests that you cannot label us and boil us down to this one thing because that's just not who we are, right?
Of course. Of course.
But yeah, man, let's hop into it. I was talking about this on FaceTime the other day.
I'll go and take this.
Yeah, okay.
Just so I'm a little more comfortable.
Yeah. So on FaceTime, and I called you up and I was like, you know what, Jalen? I think big condom and big contraceptive, emergency contraceptive are working together, right? Okay. And here's why. So, real quick, guys, y'all know that I love talking about deep things, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta spit the bullshit, right? Think about this. For all my homies that have experience with condoms out there, they suck. They do. All right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you for the input. Condoms suck. That's just a fact, right? And I'm not gonna say don't use condoms, bullshit like that. Safe sex is great, right?
Oh, safe sex is amazing.
It's great. It's great. It's good for you.
Keep talking.
But this is the issue, okay? This is the issue. Why there are no condoms, which are good? There are none. There are none. And this is my idea that big condom, Trojan, Durex, fucking whatever company you name, these companies are working in tandem, with Plan B, with emergency contraceptive, with all these things to ensure that condoms are purposefully bad so people are less inclined to use them therefore, maybe they fucking bust a nut and they don't know how to pull out. Also, if you can't pull out, like, come on, you gotta fix something. But, like, they can't pull out.
It's strong sometimes.
It is, but you gotta.
There's biological urges.
There's biological urges, but you gotta fucking master your mind. Anyways, though.
It's too hard.
Like, anyways, though.
I'm not strong.
He's not strong enough. Clearly, bro lost a little bit of muscle.
I lost a little bit. Him out here, he's out here gonna compete in the year.
Yes, sir. But basically, condom companies make condoms so bad to the point where one is inclined to not use them, and then one makes a mistake, and then goes to buy Plan B.
How often are they breaking with you?
They don't break. It's not that they break. It's like.
Oh, you mean like the material, the experience?
Yeah,
is so not great.
Yeah.
It's funny because like Bill Gates. Say what you want about Bill Gates. He created I'm not sure if it's still active, but because condoms were so awful, he actually offered a very expensive prize to whoever could come up with a innovative condom design that was more comfortable. Because you know what? I'll say it. They suck.
They do, and it's
yes.
Can I preface this real quick?
Of course.
If someone asks me to use a condom, I'm going to.
Obviously.
We're not going to be assholes. That's like, come on. It's like, if someone takes you to asks you to take your shoes off at the front door, like, you're gonna take them off, right?
Of course.
But if both of us are looking at each other and there's this limp dick in the middle of us because this fucking condom is awful, and she's like, fuck that shit, it sucks for me, and I'm like, fuck that shit, it sucks for both of us, then executive decision, people are gonna work together.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, I have to completely agree on this, on what he has said. I have to say that the whole idea of big condom, look, I understand what it does.
Yeah.
But, I think it is I think the way they're made is very archaic,
Yeah, I know.
When you put it on, it just dulls your emotions, right?
It does.
It's like Kanye when he takes his medicine.
Right,
okay?
yeah, right. It's just not as good.
This is not the real him. This is not
You don't know, Sway. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
No.
You ain't got the answers.
This is Kanye West now. And look, obviously, as you said, if it's asked to be worn, of course I'm gonna wear it.
Of course.
But it's not as enjoyable as an experience. And that's discounting the fact that, I mean, look, as someone who was raised Catholic, I am circumcised, right? 80% of my nerve endings were taken out. So you're telling me that 80% of the nerve endings are taken out, so I'm getting a fifth of what it should feel like, and then I have this sock on me where I get another fifth of what it's supposed to feel like, and then on top of that, it's like, wow, okay, so this is what I feel like.
Yeah.
And then let's add on top of the fact that, let's say I have a few drinks in me, it feels like I'm rubbing my finger.
So basically, at the end of the day, guys, we need to petition against condoms.
Down with big
Trojan, down with you. Let's move on.
No, fund the condom. Hashtag fund the condom.
Hashtag defund condoms. Anyways, though, let's move on to something a little more insightful, because I think having a fun section is fun, but
yeah, I mean, actually, I do want to say something about what you said. Yeah. So earlier, when he said that you shouldn't have labels, and then to have fun with it, I actually completely agree with you. In every way, because look, like, as much as I have a lot to say about a lot of things, and boys, do my friends know I love to speak about things, but
way too much.
But as fun as it is to have an intellectual conversation and really analyze things in whatever capacity, I think having fun and just bullshitting is equally just as fun.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't like to pigeonhole myself, and I don't really know what's gonna come out of this, but I don't want to be defined as like for example, I mean, no disrespect to these people on TikTok, but it's, oh, you're like the dad guy, or you're like the was it a funny couple people? It's like, I don't want to be that.
Dude, right there. I think labels are so fucking stupid, and like I don't want to be known as being the person who could do one thing or this or that. I don't want to be known as the person who could only write books or who could only make YouTube videos or who could only do this or that. It's like the best life to live is the multifaceted one.
Yeah.
The one where you're doing a lot of things that you love to do because you only got one life to fucking do it. So what are you doing waiting around hoping things will get better when you could just go out and do that exact thing that you love? Now, whether that's
do what you love,
do what you fucking love. Now, whether that's making YouTube videos, whether that's creating a company, whether that's posting on TikTok, like, or even if it's something simple as like playing the guitar just for yourself. If that's what you love to do, please do it.
Yeah, I think that for a lot of reasons, people are too scared to do what they really want to.
Yeah.
And it's whether it's fear of not being good enough, whether it's fear of failing. I mean, look, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm fearless, right? Because I'm not. There's still shit that scares me, but I also take the time to realize that you're gonna suck at first.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, look, like this is the first video podcast that I have, and I guarantee you, like, I'm consciously aware of the things I'm incompetent at right now. There's 100%. A lot more things that I haven't realized what I'm doing. When I'm editing this over, I'm probably going to realize, hey, I wasn't looking at the camera as much as I should have. I mean, hell, this set isn't even painted right.
Yeah.
Like, I ran out of paint to paint the rest of this. I'm not even sure if this is the color I'm going to end up using. This is actually a Murphy bed that I made just so that I could have room for this podcast set in the first place. And maybe I have too many ums and ahs and likes and too many filler words, right? Maybe that's a filler word. But who cares? I acknowledge and I have faith in myself that I will do better. And at the end of the day, I love what I'm doing. And even if I make a fool out of myself, I'll quote A$AP Rocky. You're going to make fun of someone who's trying to be better?
Right there.
The fuck type of person are you to make fun of someone for trying to be a better person? And whatever it is that they want to. I mean, in everything I've done, and I'd like to consider myself someone who doesn't really have labels, I acknowledge that I don't know much. And I can always look to people and ask for advice. But I'm also aware that I'm competent and I can figure it out. And I may suck for a while, but if I work hard, it'll turn into something. Like, look at anyone who's like made it, and they may be very good at at a certain area, but not everything.
Yeah.
And you realize that it's because of how hard they've worked that they've achieved that expertise.
Yeah. I think so many people are really afraid to start something because they're so scared of messing it up, of fucking it up the first time they do it. But I think the worst thing. The only thing worse than fucking up something, than doing something wrong, is never doing it at all.
I agree.
And I think so many people are caught up in this loop of inaction because they're like frozen in fear. And they're so scared of what's gonna happen and what could happen, what this person could think or what that person could think. But bro, I'll tell you this shit. I'll tell you this shit right now. When I started doing social media, first of all, I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to do this or that. I didn't know how to properly post content or this. I didn't know anything. And so many people made fun of me for it. But all those same motherfuckers who made fun of me for it now, they're the same ones hitting me up asking me how to either start working out or how to start eating healthier or how to start doing a social media page. That's the fucking truth, bro. That people who make fun of you, they're the ones who are insecure and jealous because they're not brave enough to do that one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to dog them or make them feel like shit. Because, like, at the end of the day, bro, no one has this life thing figured out. No one has life figured out. But once you realize that and you start to accept that and realize that no one has life figured out, so there's no wrong way to live. There is no right way to live. There is only one way to live, and that is the way you choose.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, I be spitting. Fuck, this needs to be a bar, bro. I need to start, like...
You know what? You should make this into your video TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, bro. That's why I'm on my phone. I'm clipping... I put little notes.
Oh my God.
To clip.
I've started doing that. Yeah, so look, I mean... respectfully.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, let's talk about the things I've done the last few months, right? I started a clothing line. That was pretty
Mm-hmm.
fun. I have a startup, like a real one that hopefully I look to seek funding for in the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I built this Murphy bed. I mean, honestly, really, I think really just starts with a clothing line. Oh, at Experiential Clothing Co.
Mm-hmm.
Link below, of course. And I'll talk about this a little bit later. But I just want to finish what we're talking about. You're not gonna know what you're not gonna know what you're doing, and you're gonna fail. And I think that whenever people play life, right? There's two different ways to play life, right? You can play to win, or you can play not to lose. And those are two very different things, right? Playing to win means that you're acknowledging you'll lose. Playing not to lose means that you're not trying to win. You're just trying not to, come in last or fail super hard,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, think to yourself what you want. If you want to live the life and you want to play it safe and you don't want to, lose
Yeah.
and not crash and burn, but just have meager success, that's fine. But I'm personally going to take the gamble because I acknowledge even if I fail, I'll win. I mean, eventually.
Yeah.
Like this quote that I heard, it applied to European life versus American life, but I just see this as living life in general. And this metaphor was given, as if you were on a plane. In America, you can fly high and you can crash hard. Or you can sail, or you can fly business class in A320 to your destination. Right? The first one was America, the second one was Europe. But personally, I would take the first one any day. I would fly high, fall hard. Because at the end of the day, as bad as things can get, it's not going to kill you. Short of, doing things that are actually going to kill you.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, let's say you spend, like, a few $1,000s on a venture and it bombs. Okay, it's a few $1,000s of debt. Look, you may have to, save some money, but you'll get over it. Yeah. Let's say you try this business and you fail. Okay, some people may laugh at you, right? The ones who really care about you are going to say, hey, man, I'll support you for the next one. And you just roll with it, right? It could even be, hey, to this pretty girl, hey, I think you're really pretty. I think we should go out. She could, worst case scenario, laugh in your face, right? By the end of
I hope she does, goddammit. It's going to
give
me gym motivation.
I mean... I hope she does.
I'll be hitting the PR after that bitch.
I hope she does.
Fuck that girl, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
sorry. Continue.
I hope she does, goddammit. I mean, look.
Yeah.
You'll live.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, do shit that scares you, and I would feel this, right?
Yeah.
If I fail, I knew that nothing bad would happen, but mentally, the world would come crashing down, and God from the above would smite me with his lightning bolt. No, that doesn't happen.
No. And it's, I think the number one quote there, honestly, like the number one thing to get out of that, you can't win at life by playing not to lose. I'm going to say that once more. You cannot win by playing not to lose. And if you allow your fear of failure to continue hitting you in the face and fucking squeezing your balls, then the reality is that you're not going to cover that distance. And it's like, even if you fly high and soar high and then come crashing down, you end up covering a lot more distance, than you end up covering than if you just tried to soar. Than if you just tried to smooth sail.
Yeah.
And playing it safe, to me, man, it's like, what's the point of playing it safe? Like, you get one life, man. Yeah, I might die tomorrow. I could be walking down, after this podcast, I could be walking back to my home and get hit by a drunk driver, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I have to ask myself, and, like, that's a very dark possibility, right?
But it's possible.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
Nothing in life is guaranteed. Security is an illusion we create for ourselves.
Yeah. Now, to play devil's advocate to people who are probably doubting us right now, there are definitely times to play safe, right?
Yes.
Of course, right? Like, let's say you have children, let's say you have dependents, let's say you have a lot of debt, let's say you're supporting your family. Okay. Yes. I understand that. I would, though, to that say that with everyone in your life, you can either run in the same circles and stay where you've always been, or you can take that little bit of risk, and it's completely depends on how much and how risk averse you are.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a risk and be in a better place. May end up in a worse place, but you could be in a better place. And as long as you're willing to take that leap, then more power to you. I mean, actually, that is actually the whole idea I do plan to capture with my clothing line at Experiential Clothing Co.
Experiential Clothing Co.
Experiential Clothing Co.
At Experiential Clothing Co. Wait, what's the at once more?
At Experiential Clothing Co.
At Experiential Clothing Co.
Yeah. You know what? I feel that this is equally part of this conversation because, look, this is something that I started actually less than 2 months ago to the day. It's September 22nd. I started this I think August 1st. You can't really see behind me, behind you, but there's like a fuck ton of merch that I've ordered that I do plan to sell to the university. So I'm an entrepreneurship student, and I guess that kind of means that not knowing and walking down a dark path is just kind of what my life is going to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But I had a hypothesis. My friend a few years ago, he actually came up with this idea. He sent this. He sent me a Cape Cod sweatshirt, right, with these washed out pastel colors, and he said, "What if we had these, but instead they said co-op, like our university." For those of you who don't know, I go to Northeastern University. Co-op stands for cooperative education. You know what? Hold on. Let me actually get the t-shirt that explains it. Hold on.
Grab that shit. Yes, sir. He on that shit. He grabbing it. Woo! They will not be able to see. You're going to have to...
They actually are able to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So...
Never mind. I'm fucking lying, clearly.
Y'all can pause that. But basically, so co-op, spelled C-O-O-P. Also known as cooperative education. Co-op is a structured method of combining classroom-based education with practical work experience. And another thing that BU doesn't have.
Yeah.
BU by Boston University. Yeah, so I didn't really know. Well, it started with this, right? Yeah. With this shirt. And I'm like, you know what? It seems like a good idea because the school doesn't make merchandise that I feel represents us. Because I feel that the school doesn't really have school pride. This represents us more than arguably at Northeastern University does.
Yeah.
And in it, people can work at different companies, right? I've worked at Truly, Hard Seltzer. Right now I'm working at Boston Consulting Group. Very, very proud that I've even been able to, walk into those buildings. But you'll have people who do everything from like beekeepers to, Boston Medical Center.
Yeah.
End up working at SpaceX, Apple. And, I wanted to create a line of clothing that I felt represented us. Mm-hmm. So that's my target market, right? The students at Northeastern University. It's like 20,000-ish people, right? And it was taking a familiar idea, a familiar template, aka a Cape Cod or Nantucket-esque sweatshirt. Classic. With the same beautiful pastel colors, with a similar font, and putting it out there. Mm-hmm. And, overall things have been going pretty well for me. Mm-hmm. This is my first venture into entrepreneurship. I don't plan for this to be my bread and butter. But this was literally done I literally did this to make every mistake I possibly could, just so I could take notes and use this for when I launch larger, more expansive ventures. Yeah. Everything from creating the LLC to working with other people. I had to hire a designer because this skyline, right, of all the universities. You think I can draw? I can't. Yeah, no. For sure.
We can't draw.
For shit, I can't draw. But I know someone who could, so I talked to her, paid her, obviously. Coordinated with different people. I have an accountant now. I have someone who's doing TikToks with me. I hired a bunch of people, including this beautiful man, to model for me. Coordinating supply chain. I had an advisor when it came to knowing exactly what types of, units of clothing to order, where to have everything, printed and manufactured, how to get I learned how to get the website going. And nothing's perfect. And I acknowledge I'm gonna fuck up a lot. And as time goes on this podcast, and then also hopefully on the proprietary one within the clothing line, I do plan to do a tell-all. The reason why it's called Experiential Clothing Co. is because that's literally what I'm doing. I'm experiencing and I'm educating myself by doing. It's a work in progress, as my life is. And they say that people who have the greatest confidence are those who have the greatest perceived outlook of their future. If you think, well, let me not say if you think. If you know where you're going to go, what does it matter where you are right now? What does it matter what anyone says right now? Because you know where you're going to be in a little bit. Let's say that you knew the lottery numbers for the next week. Don't tell me how. I mean, don't ask why. Don't ask how. But you did, right? And you put down the lottery numbers, right? Or you know what? No, Or you know what? Let's make it easier. Let's say you knew who was gonna win this year's Super Bowl, and you put a bunch of bets down, and you said who's gonna win. You knew exactly what the score was. Think of how many people would doubt you. It's bullshit. No. I'm sure some people would believe you. Others wouldn't. But that full confidence in your heart, you would know. Now imagine if you had that same feeling towards your future. Think of what you could accomplish. And even if you don't get there, think of how far you'd be able to go. If no one could tell you no, and you knew where you'd be going.
Woo! Okay, with that, I gotta reset the camera real quick. I'll be back in a second. Woo! Alright, back to it. Alright, guys, we're back to it. Let go. Damn, okay.
We're gonna reset that time.
Mr. Motivational Speaker here.
I don't mean to be okay, so you're saying
no, I know what you mean. I'm the same way as well.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, look, I don't mean to be like motivational and like self-helpy, but I fucking love my life, bro. Like, respect.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be straight, bro. It's like I don't mean to be. For example, like yesterday, I had a friend who was going through something, and I was just talking to her about it, and I went straight like motivational self-help, like none of us have this life stuff figured out and that's okay kind of like vibe. And I slayed that shit for like 10 minutes. And she was like, it was like banger after banger, like just one-liner after one-liner. Like I was in that flow state. Everyone around us was like, damn, that guy's in the flow state, right? Like I was in that shit. And I'm telling you, bro, it's like a very natural feeling. And it's almost like this, I don't know if you guys have ever read The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield.
Oh, I have to read that.
You have to read that. But he basically talks about this thing, like, there's, like, the genius, right? The genius that, like, invades your body, not invades your body, but, like, takes over your body and, like, creates beautiful works of art or, like, enters the flow state, whatever you want to call it. It was like that. And I'm telling you, once you're in that zone, like, there's no stopping it. And, like, sure, some people be like, ooh, so preachy. Ooh, like, look at this fucking self-help guru. Like, fuck this guy. But it's like, yo, I'm just trying to do what I like to do, so fuck you if you hate that.
I mean, like, for me, yeah, there's that. But I love my life and I love to help people. And I guess as an entrepreneur, it really is, at the end of the day, helping people. And the reason why I tell people things is not because I want the worst for them. I really want the best for them. And what's worked for me, I feel like can work for other people. Because I feel like the way I live my life is, generally, anyone could live it. I think it's pretty universal. And when I see some people, like, struggling, or having a hard time, I want to change that. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, just as an example, right? At my co-op where I work at, arguably, no, I work at one of the top 3 consulting firms in the world, right? Our clients are, think of a company, and we've done work for them.
Yeah.
Right? But I have a lot of people, a lot of my fellow co-ops who work there and are very intimidated because they don't want to mess up. They don't want to make a mistake, right? And like I remember one time at lunch, and someone was talking about how, oh my god, I don't know how to do this, and I'm like, why don't you tell your boss that, it's too much work, or ask him for clarification on what you're doing. Yeah, but like I don't want to ask a question because like, what if like what if they think I'm incompetent, or I'm like, I just thought to myself like, you're too scared to ask a question.
Yeah.
you're too scared to like make a mistake. Like, what the hell? Like, I mean,
Life is about making mistakes.
like,
bro.
I so seriously just wanted to say it, and I did, right? Not overly so, because as I've gotten older, I've realized that people can't be helped unless they want to be. But I really want, I don't know, like, I really want the best for everybody. Like, I mean, ask my friends, even like my worst enemies, people who've actually wronged me. I still, at the end of the day, wish that they have a good life and are the best off. Because, I don't know, to wish misery and hate, I mean, I feel like hatred and jealousy and resentment, it's so much work, man.
Bro,
It's so
it's
much
so
work to
much-
be
it's-
resentful.
to hold some sort of negativity and hatred and all these negative feelings towards someone is possibly the worst thing you can do for yourself, and that's a fact. It's the worst thing you can do for yourself because you're the one harboring all these negative emotions, these negative feelings. They're not the ones feeling it. If I dislike Jalen and I hate him with all my heart, he's not the one getting the end of that. I am. There's a quote that's like, anger is a poison that only hurts the user or the poisoner, right? And it's true. It's this poison, and it's like, the more hate you put out into the world, the more negativity you put out into the world, that's exactly what comes back. But the opposite goes for positivity. And if you decide to put positive vibes into the world, to put love and care and energy and good things into the world and the people around you, that is exactly what's going to come back.
Now, for the record, it is really good gym motivation. Would you like to say something to that?
It is what?
It is very good gym motivation.
What? Someone...
Anger.
Anger? I'll say this, though. I'll say this. You know what? And there's going to be like a few fitness heads watching this shit, so I know that. I think the people that get like really angry in the gym, it's not a healthy... I'm going to say it, bro. That shit ain't healthy.
Oh, damn, he's actually speaking facts. I can
If you're
agree.
if you're
I
getting
completely agree.
if you're getting really fucking angry in the gym and you want to, and like whether it be angry at, like incredibly angry at your ex or at your parents or at the people around you or your friend or this and that, anger is not going to solve your problems ever. That's the truth. And I know terrible things happen in this world. I know people cheat on each other. I know people cross each other. I know people insult each other and do horrible, awful things. But I promise you this. Anger will not help them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, what's up? Camera's probably in a different spot to those people who get annoyed at that. I'm going to acknowledge it. I did that on purpose. We did it on purpose. What were we talking about before? I forgot what we were talking about.
Let's talk about something new.
Yeah, Roman. What are you doing? Tell me something that
I was
you wanted
actually-
to talk about.
Yeah, I'm currently in the midst of figuring out the balance between work and self-care. And I'm going to go a little bit further into this. I am not a fan of hustle culture. And like
hot take.
in the current sense of the word hustle culture being like grind 24/7 and that's your life and like you'll get everything, because I don't think working 24/7 is good, because
Yes.
I think you do need time for yourself, and you do need like
Yes.
I think like I have a very I have a background in like a little bit of Hinduism and mainly in Buddhism and like Stoicism and like things like that, and all of them kind of say the same thing. The middle path is greatest. The middle. And it's about finding that balance that works for you. And I'm not saying that life is 50-50 work and self-care, because it's not that. It's different for each person. And sometimes self-care is work, and sometimes work is self-care. And I'm going to go into that in a second.
Yes.
But I've been really trying to figure that out for myself and find that balance between taking it easy, but also pushing the gas pedal. So tell me, what do you think about that?
I actually completely agree with you. When it comes to hustle culture, I think that it does tend to be very toxic, because, look, if you want something done, you have to work a lot, and you and I work a lot.
That's true.
On stuff we want to do. Now, how I personally say it is, people's definitions of work can be very different things, right? Like, right? at that sign up there, do what you love. Everything I'm doing because I really truly love it. Like
Yes.
the clothing line,
Yes.
my podcast,
Yes.
my startup, right? Not as much real estate as of late, but you know, I'm doing it because I love it, and as he's saying, it is a form of self-care. But to grind and do something you hate time and time again, and to eat shit like 80 hours a week, it's just not sustainable.
No.
It's, I mean, for a little bit, yeah, of course, if you, as I talked to you about before, understand where you're going to go, but you will burn out and become a miserable fucking person. And I mean, what is that balance? You gotta figure it out. I can't tell you. I mean, I know my balance, and if I don't like doing something, I'll stop doing it. But you have to figure that out for yourself. But I think endlessly working, time and time again. I mean, unless you love it, it's just not worth it.
I think what it does is like if you're constantly working 24/7 and you never have some time off for yourself. Number one, first of all, you're gonna get really burnt out quickly, and I think burnout's really dangerous because once you're burnt out for a little bit, maybe like a day or two, it's just a slippery slope.
Oh, very much so.
It's like anything in life. Once you're on a habit and a routine and a schedule, and you've been sticking for that for so long, and you take a few days off, maybe you go on vacation, maybe you just take a few days off, and you say, oh, you know what, I'll skip today, I'll do tomorrow, and you just spiral down. Like,
yeah,
it's so dangerous.
I mean, I actually I really want to talk about burnouts. So as someone who's like done a lot of like, I think I have a very obsessive personality, like selectively, and I think that works very great to its benefits.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's why I've worked as hard, doing the clothing line the last few months as I've done. But at the same time, in the past, it's been, working on virtual reality games when I was in high school, or working on an app, or, I mean, it can also go bad ways, right? Like after I got in the job at Boston Beer Company, drank a little too much alcohol.
Yeah.
In sophomore year, a little too much of a player, right? To the point it affected me, like my health, right? But, burnout. You have to realize when to take a step back, even if you want to do in the moment. Like I've learned in myself, even if I'm loving doing a particular like subject or learning something, I'll purposely stop so I'm extra excited for next time. And I'll make sure to to do something new. Like for example, me, right? I have this thing I do. It's called fucking new adventure, new experience Saturday. Every Saturday I do something different. Whether it's, I mean, last week it was doing photo shoots. Other times it was going to, like a new place within Boston, or taking a walk, or just reading a new book, or whatever. Gotta keep it fresh, detached. Because actually, where you get your best ideas from and inspiration is when you learn to link different ideas together.
Yeah.
So that those new ideas or those new experiences can actually help you in the thing that you're hyper specializing in.
I really like that because I think I'm as a creator, like a content creator, I don't get my influences to post from what other people are doing around me in the same niche. Let me continue that. I get some influence from it. Like, for example, I'm trying to go for a more cinematic look, trying to change it up, right?
Guys,
we're going.
You should check out at Armando Jumal.
Check out at ArmandoJumal
on Instagram.
Yep, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that shit.
He has some respectfully cinematic ass shit.
Exactly.
I mean,
so some of that, appreciate that. Some of that is inspired by people in the fitness niche. But lately, dude, yesterday I had such a cool idea, and I'm gonna talk to him about it after the podcast, because y'all motherfuckers you're gonna go crazy once you see this shit. You're gonna go crazy once you see it. But I had this idea yesterday, and I realized it came from something completely outside of fitness. It came from my own personal interest, my own personal things that I decided to pursue outside because I really wanted to. And I think so many people are scared to venture outside the little bubble, the little label, the little thing that they create for themselves, their identity. They're so scared to venture outside of that because they think, if I go outside, then I'm not working as hard. If I go outside this, then I'm not this. They think if I'm, for example, fitness, if I'm not doing fitness content, then I'm nothing, then I can't be anything, then I can't be big, or I can't get followers, and I can't have sponsorships, and they get like so spiraling kind of blah 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 blah. But if you take a step back, take a deep breath in, and you look around you, you say, why should I stay within this label? And you step out of that box, because you're the one holding yourself in that little prison cell. You unlock that key and you step out the door and you look around you and see what's around you. And you say, okay, I like this, let me try this. Suddenly it all starts to come together in your own way. Something that is so unique, something that is so personal, something that is so uniquely you that no one can replicate it.
Yeah.
You know who did that well? Anderson .Paak.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain that.
You should listen to some Anderson .Paak. You should listen to some Anderson .Paak.
I do listen to Anderson .Paak, and it is funny how you say that, because I actually can see that the amount of various genres that he's able to bring together and interpret, it is very impressive. Yeah. Do you know who else, who I also feel embodies that?
Tell me.
You can disagree with me if you feel, but Post Malone.
I haven't listened to much Post Malone. I can't really do that.
Fair enough. So I think what I love about Post Malone is the way he's able to blend different genres together. The way he's able to take, people called him a culture vulture when he made White Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Like, people take inspiration based on, what they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
But, how he's able to just, in my eyes, mold, whether it's rap or singer-songwriter stuff or, not jazz, but just different genres together. I think that we are a product of what we know. We're a product of what we experience.
Yeah.
Actually, and not tied back to Experiential Clothing Co. But back to
Experiential Clothing Co.
Yeah. The logo, if you see it, it's 3 expanding circles. But the reason for it is for this exact same concept that I feel truly, truly embodies me, and it's probably like a tattoo I'll get somewhere on my body. I follow this person at Visualize Value, and he basically creates graphic designer type visualizations based on a quote. But there's one quote, I forget who it's by, but what you can imagine is based on what you know. And it was basically a visualization of just 4 circles, right? Little circle, then just encompassing just a part of that smaller circle, a bigger circle, and then a bigger circle, and then a bigger circle, right? Basically explaining that what you can imagine exponentially increases based on what you know.
Yeah.
Right? And the more circles you can run in, the more you can imagine, and the more you can ultimately do. I feel like I'm someone who loves to understand different perspectives. That's what I made my quarantine. I wanted to, someone told me I was emotionally unintelligent. I'm like, okay, fine, well, and I want to be. I read books about, from the perspectives of, female authors, right? From businessmen, from, people I never really would think to. Yeah. This podcast, Lives of the Party, I acknowledge that I'm young and I don't know a damn thing, right? I may be smart, but fuck it. I don't know anything, right? Everything from the homeless people I've interviewed, right? To Sasha, when she fled Kiev in Ukraine, to Josie when she was in the middle of the jungle alone, trying to hide from poachers, afraid that they would get to her, to my professors who are serial entrepreneurs. The more you expose yourself to, the more you can create things that you never would have thought of. Hell, this never would have came from anything if I didn't see the Nantucket sweatshirt. That definition tee is actually, I saw a similar definition tee from 4 years ago. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool design, and I think it'd be really relevant towards someone like us, people who go to my school. The more ideas you have, the more different ideas. You can learn a lot in a specialized subject. For example, you can become an Isaac Newton, absolute master in fucking physics, right? But how much do you think he knew about a girl?
He actually died a virgin.
He died a virgin. Exactly. He knows, right? Don't be Isaac.
Don't be Isaac Newton. Sure, Isaac Newton may have invented gravity. I mean, kind of.
He may have invented gravity.
Isaac Newton created gravity.
But he did not know how to get something else bouncing on his.
Tell me, did Isaac Newton ever make a girl come? Did he ever finger someone? Did he ever give love to someone?
For the record, we don't actually know, but we're gonna. I'm gonna assume.
Assume no. Who the fuck? I bet. Okay, I'm gonna take. Imagine you're a girl. All right, your name is. Imagine you're a girl in what was it, like the 18th century, like 1700s.
I was like the 1600s.
Okay, 17th century.
Let's fact check.
Okay, yeah. Imagine you're a girl in the 17th century, and you come out. Oh shit! Is that Isaac? Shit.
1643 to 1727.
Yeah, and then you try to flirt with him, and this motherfucker's like, gravity is the force that keeps us all on Earth, and you're like, I'm just trying to get some dick, bro. And he's like, but gravity is cool. Look at this apple. Like, you really think that motherfucker was getting it? Do you? So basically, at the end of the line, at the end of the day, bro, don't be Isaac Newton.
Well,
but also explore your passions.
Yes.
And never bat your eyes at something. And never close yourself off to anything.
Yeah.
Because that's simply knowledge you are withholding from yourself.
I agree. Even if you disagree vehemently, fucking, like, read it anyway. I mean, for that reason, read it more.
I used to think a man's asshole was never to be played with at all. Never to be touched. And then I was enlightened. Alright? And you know what? If I was closed off to that idea, I would not be enlightened. But here I am, sitting right now. So, to all my guys out there.
You want to expand on this? Like your asshole?
My asshole expands, not me. So.
Well, I mean, you want to expand on this topic.
I feel like we should if we want to do a podcast about sex, I wish I would love to.
Of course, this podcast is about everything. We're not.
No, what I mean is I want like a podcast devoted to sex.
Okay. Well, you know what? These 2 minutes can be devoted to sex.
Okay. So what? Shout out sex, bro.
Shout out sex, bro. Hot take. I love sex, bro. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Cheers to sex. I hope y'all like sex out there.
So.
If you don't, then remain abstinent.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
We love our asexuals.
Yeah, facts, right? But you know what's funny as fuck? The fact that they teach abstinence in high school. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? I don't know about you, but like that was part of the curriculum.
Respectfully, how are you going to tell someone to stop doing what we have historically done for the last 2 billion years?
Like, biologically, that is our only purpose on these. Biologically,
homie,
there is one purpose on this earth, and that is to fuck.
Homie, I know you.
Which I'm not saying all you should care about in life is fucking.
Yeah.
Trust me,
I've
been through that shit.
Yeah, I made that mistake too.
Yeah, we've been.
Okay, but.
Tap me up, please. Tap me up, please.
Okay,
or else it's gonna be really awkward if I'm just here like.
Okay, so I'm someone who loves to learn different perspectives.
Yeah.
Hell, I read the Unabomber Manifesto.
Yeah.
Right, but tell me.
Likewise.
You did?
A little bit.
Really? That's really cool. Why should men...
Bad time.
Do... Okay, fine. Would you like to wait or would you like to entertain this now?
No, say it.
Why should men entertain their asshole?
Okay.
Tell me, because you know what? I know some facts, and it's something I'm unfamiliar with, but of course, I'm willing to learn. If it's great and it feels good.
It does. Do it with someone you trust.
Does it feel better than regular sex?
Yeah.
Like a scale of like how much more, multiplier wise? Is it 2 times? Is it just?
Well, okay. Wait a second here. Wait, you're like it's kind of comparing apples to oranges.
Oh, okay.
Cause there's a finger in your ass, and then there's regular sex.
Okay, but what do you like more?
Oh, regular sex.
Okay.
Because the other person feels that really good. Well, I think most girls prefer sex over like anything else, right?
Yeah.
I think guys are the some guys prefer head over sex, which I'm not one of those.
Me.
Really?
Yeah.
I like both of us to feel.
Look, I'm a big Megan Love fan, but I do enjoy that.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think, it depends, right? I mean, this is what I'll say, next time you're with that special someone, and this goes for anyone out there too, whether you're a guy or a girl, both situations. If you're a guy and you're, getting some good gawk, then
We love it. Whatever you
right?
want, whatever you take, whatever give.
Then maybe you could say, hey, partner, howdy, and you could, direct that finger somewhere else. That's all I gotta say. You'll figure it out from there on. All right. It's definitely possible. I'm a fan of it, and if you guys think it's weird, that's okay. But all I gotta say is y'all are missing out. That's all I gotta say. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
All I was asking is, and also I realized that I have not been recording the last half an hour. But all I'm asking is, can you please give them an argument for why they should?
Oh yeah, well it's like maximize. Okay, so this is the way I put it. I'm gonna take an example here, right? We were talking about condoms earlier, right?
Yeah.
Condom sex versus raw.
Oh, okay.
Okay, regular head with a finger in your ass. So that's just gonna be. I'm gonna leave it there. Sex conversation over.
Wow.
I want all of you guys to go home. All of you guys and gals to go home with some insight, some thoughts, some ideas, and that's really all I got for you to know.
This has potentially blown my mind.
Yeah. I think it is mind blowing. It is brain blowing.
It's brain blowing.
God, I hate myself. Anyways, though, let's I think we should have a podcast later, like devoted all, like just straight up to sex. We could have my roommate on it because that'll be a fun one too.
Does he have sex?
Yeah.
He does?
He does.
Really?
Yeah, all the time, both of us, just like piping in bed.
Wow.
Just like,
wow.
Yeah. There's just cum everywhere.
Wow.
The walls are white for a reason.
I need sex.
Yeah. Alright guys, we're gonna take a break right now. We're gonna pull out this Murphy bed, see what happens. Anyways, so I kind of want to go back because we completely glossed over productivity, work-life balance, but
Yeah, I mean, and also just to add to the fact that we're both Renaissance men.
Yes.
I can just as easily entertain a bullshit topic, right?
Yeah.
About sticking a finger in your ass, which is no credit card, no bullshit. I'm sure a really fun experience, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But just as easily as I could do that, I can entertain X various geopolitical, rivalry, various philosophical topic. That's just who we are. Like, I have no labels. Like, I'm not the sex guy. I'm not the, brainiac guy. I'm not the good conversations guy. Like, I'm just Jalen.
You're all of them, bro.
And you just Armand, right? I think that we can be a lot. We don't have to pigeonhole ourselves, and we shouldn't. But I just want to say that.
I like that a lot. I think.
Oh.
We're chilling.
Do you need to change the
we're good,
camera?
We're good. No, we're good.
Okay.
No, I like that a lot. I think that's completely true. We really don't have to confine ourselves to a certain thing or a certain identity or a certain this or that, because you could be whatever you want and whoever you want. So, just be that, whatever it may be. Let's talk about. What's something cool to talk about?
Didn't you want to talk about your love life?
I want to talk about that with you off the pod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, sorry guys. Y'all aren't getting the dirty scoop about Armand's love life. There's not a lot to go off there, but it's a fun one. It's a funny one. Anyways, though, how about this? Let's do a speed round. I feel like we're at an hour. I think an hour is a good time for our first pod. We got about 5 minutes left, right?
I really feel like we could talk forever. But yes, you're right.
But I think I kind of want to start wrapping it up.
You're right. No. You're completely right on that.
And also, yeah. Let's do a speed round. All right. So maybe this is gonna be the end of all the Soulscape episodes, but this might be even experiential, one might say.
Experiential.
Oh, for Welcome to the Lives. Okay, so we're gonna go back. I'm gonna say a word, or an image, or a thing, or a noun, or a verb, or whatever. And you're going to give me the first word or idea or sentence that pops into your mind.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So we're going to go back and forth.
Okay.
All right? You ready?
Yeah.
Dragonfly.
Um, dragon fruit. Not much creativity there.
Okay.
BMW.
Big fan. I love him. I used to be a car guy for a very short period of time, and one of my cars, the one I wanted to get, the first car that I wanted as my first car was a BMW E46.
Oh, that's how we're doing this. The stories. Oh, okay.
We can do stories. We can do anything.
Okay, bet. Yeah. I thought of something different. Okay, yeah. Okay, bet. Your turn.
All right. Marijuana.
I'm thinking.
Did I just say marijuana? Wow, I feel like a Ronald Reagan ad.
I'm thinking. Incredible creative tool. I'm not someone who smokes a lot because I used to be a stoner in high school, and I stopped after a really bad experience that made me anxious in a public setting.
I'm really happy that you did that for yourself.
That's smart.
No.
A lot of people won't stop after they have a bad a lot of people will keep having the bad experiences and then be like, man, weed sucks for me, and I'm like, then why do you keep smoking?
Yeah. But what I will say is that I don't do it quite as frequently, but I will always journal whenever I'm high, because the amount of the amount of ways I'm able to connect my mind and ideas in ways I've never had before, it is incredibly helpful towards finding new ideas, and arguably why every fucking musician gets high.
Facts.
New music. Okay, I'll go. Let's see. Abs.
Really cool, but kind of overrated.
Oh, really? This is a hot take.
But also I want abs again. I miss having abs because I'm bulked right now. So I only have my top abs, but even those aren't that good right now. I was actually looking at a picture of myself in my camera roll from a few months ago. 6-7 months ago. This picture came up and I was like, damn, bro, I miss being lean. I know I'm competing next year on a bodybuilding show in 2023. So I know all that I'm doing now, all this work and shit, I know it's going somewhere, and I'm growing. I'm growing and I'm getting stronger, and I see myself physically getting bigger, which makes me super happy, right? Awesome. But at the same time, a part of me wants me to be lean so badly, and I just wish I could, just cut down, be lean, all that shit. But I know that even though I may not be happy with my physique 100% right now, I'm gonna be more upset that if I cut down, don't do this, and blah 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 later. So it's sort of one of those delayed gratification things where it's put in the hard work now, and then enjoy the fruits of the labor later. And I'm realizing if I want to pursue bodybuilding further, not in terms of being a pro bodybuilder or Olympia stage, but just have it more of a part of my life, this is the process and this is the reality, and it's pretty fucking cool.
He sees the future.
I do see the
Very
future.
impressive.
I do see the future, bro. I'm 100% on that. And last one I want to leave off with is both of us were big Tim Ferriss guys. I know that much for sure.
Yes, sir.
Best purchase of $100 or less within the last year.
What'd you say?
Oh, what's the best purchase of $100 or less that you've made within the last year?
That's a lot of things. I will say, as of now, currently, the most consequential thing I will argue is the book I recently bought.
Mm-hmm.
No, bought a few months ago. It's called Who Not How.
Ooh.
And the thesis of the book basically explained that, as we grow up, the way that our education in school and how we grow up is taught is, well, if you don't know how to do it, try again until you figure it out, right? When in reality, as you get older, and especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, there's going to come a day when you will not be able to have the expertise. You will not have the time, to develop that expertise needed at the given moment. And it makes more sense to ask someone.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to find the person. And if you need to pay them, whatever. using your money to save time is an incredibly important lesson to learn, and just that book just internalized in me the idea that, okay, I have my level of expertise.
Yeah.
I'm intelligent, right? There's some things I know, but there's a lot more things I don't know. So how can I find people that know more than me in this particular topic so I can make what I want happen? And because of that book, when I ran with this idea of creating this clothing line, it was, okay, well, I don't know how to design, but I have a friend who does. I have a friend who just fucking graduated, mass art, like Massachusetts College of Art and Design, right? I don't know fashion or the supply chain, so I'm going to ask a friend who did start a clothing line. I don't know marketing, so I'm going to have someone who does. Hell, like this week, I got dinner with someone. I'm 22, but I don't understand TikTok. So I found someone who's younger than me, who I could learn from, who's going to help me make those TikToks, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's someone, within marketing or websites or whatever. It's like, you don't know how to do everything, and you need to humbly accept that. You can still be an intelligent person and not know how to do something. But realizing that has exponentially increased my productivity and my output as a person.
That's beautiful. It's kind of facts about you outsource, you just outsource skills.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really make much sense for you to learn everything when there's someone else who knows it better and can do it better.
And if you can afford it, right? Yeah. Do it.
Truth. Real quick, I'm going to reset this real quick. All right. That's beautiful, bro.
Thank you.
It's gorgeous. Anything else you want to wrap up with? We've been running with this for about an hour and 10.
Yeah, next time when this is up, the camera may be shittier because I'm going to be on my own camera, but there may be some better stuff up in the set. Please let me know. Is the set good? Is it bad? Should I change the colors? Should I add some pretty frames? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But either way, if you even listened this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. Right now, I'm up on the come up, and I'm sure Armand feels the same way. I know where I'm gonna. No, I don't know where I'm gonna be, but I know I'm gonna be fine, and that's why I do this.
You know what's really funny, man? We're gonna go, whether it be a year from now, whether it be 6 months from now, whether it be 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. We're gonna look back on this podcast and say, bro, look how fucking stupid we were back then. We're gonna look back and say, look how shitty we didn't know this, we didn't know that, we blah blah blah, this, do. And I'm so excited for that day to come.
Me
because
too. Me too.
I have that happen to me every few months. Now imagine what that's gonna be like in 10 years when I look back and say, damn, we've covered a long fucking ground and this was the beginning of it. So with that, Jalen, I appreciate you so much.
Armand,
much love, dog. I really appreciate you more than you know. I appreciate you more than you know. And have a great fucking day.
Yeah, have an amazing day.
You only got one life.
You only got one life, so fucking live it.
Hey guys, it's me again. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Soulscape. I really appreciate you more than you know, and I love you dearly. All my socials, as well as my friends who join in on the conversation, will be linked down below. And feel free to reach out if you got any questions, comments, ideas, or anything else along those lines. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.